All right, it's time to reflect on my 2021 goals and talk about goals I have for 2022. Let's get into it. I had some channel and book reading goals from last year, and this year I have goals for books and channel, but also for some life stuff, or at least stuff that's on the horizon that I, for better or for worse, have to deal with. So we'll get into that in this video. Last year I had a reading goal of like 52 books or something very obtainable like that for myself. I mean, I didn't know if I could keep up with my 2020 reading pace. That was my first year on BookTube. I was in lockdown a lot. I didn't know what 2021 reading would look like. Apparently about the same. Apparently I'm like an 8 to 12 books a month person now. So that was very attainable. I also gave myself a rereading goal, so I gave myself permission and an excuse to reread 12 of my favorite things. I reread 18 things. It was fantastic. If you don't know, I just reconsume media I love all the time. I rewatch movies, TV shows, I reread books. If I love it, I just want to consume it again and again and again. And part of joining BookTube and part of just reading newer releases when I got back into reading 4 or 5 years ago is just, you don't always give yourself a chance to just read your favorites. So that was fantastic and worked out. I did have a short story collection goal of reading, I think, 10 to 12. I only read 8, but I think this is the thing where I really noticed that being back in the office and doing things with friends again, I was like, short stories are harder for me to prioritize, and I'm glad I still prioritized them, but I needed to lower that goal. So I think next year I'm going to adjust that, but I still have a goal for short story reading. I just needed to adjust it, but also one of the short story collections I read was 500 pages long, and that is absurdly long normally, so that should have counted as 2, probably, but regardless, only 8 technical short story collections and anthology, so I didn't quite make it, but I met the spirit of the goal, so I'm happy with that. This year was the first time I ever decided to look into ARCs and NetGalley things, and I was nervous about it getting out of hand, and it's not out of hand. I don't know if I set a number goal, but I did look, and I ended up, I think, reading about 14 arcs through NetGalley and other means, and I think that's about where I wanted to stay. I'm not sure. I don't have a set goal for this. I more just wanted to keep an eye on it and make sure it didn't, overwhelm me. I know a lot of friends of mine who get overwhelmed by the ratio on NetGalley and, take out a lot of books and get stressed about it, and I didn't want to be stressed about it. I wanted it to be, a quicker way to get books than the library for new releases, so that's how I've kind of treated it, and that relationship has worked out well for me so far. And the last goals I have are usually related to authors and their demographics. So for gender, I don't think I had any strict goals. I think I wanted to increase the number of non-binary authors, although there aren't as many, there are more coming out, and I just wanted to increase that, so that became about 9% of my reading. It's actually closer to probably 10 or 11 because I have a multiple authors category, and I know for a fact a lot of the authors in the multiple authors category were non-binary. It's just, if you're reading an anthology or if you're reading a co-written work, it's hard to separate those things out. I actually did notice that only a quarter of what I read, I think, yes, a quarter was written by male authors, so I probably should start actively looking and making sure I'm reading more male authors. I think for the past couple years, I've actually naturally been reading more women than male authors, although I still feel like I'm reading plenty, but I do want things to be more in a balance, so I think in a perfect world, it would be 33% all the way across. I don't think I'll ever achieve that, but maybe trying to make things a little more balanced, a little less 62% female sort of thing. So that's the gender breakdown. And then authors of color, I am doing exactly what I want to be doing. I'm 55% authors of color, and that's great. That feels really balanced to me. It feels really right, and I'm great with it. So those were the general reading goals check-in, and then I had a couple channel goals, and some I did better with than others. I wanted to play around doing more spoiler vlogs, and I've definitely done that. I have plenty of spoiler vlogs that I've done both for my Patreon and for the channel for series that I really wanted to talk about. So they all exist on the channel. It's been really fun making those. I have fallen behind on my Science Behind the Magic, and there are reasons for that. I have a new idea for how I want to do it, but it requires learning new things in brain cells that I have not had as I've been trying to finish my thesis. So I predict that once I defend and stuff like that, once that's all handled in the next 3 months, I'm going to try and learn how to do this thing, because I wanted to do more of a cool, voiceover thing with cool art and different diagrams, less me sitting here and talking. I wanted a more interactive way of teaching science. I don't know. I'm playing around with that. It's not gone. It's just something that I want to elevate to more than a sit-down video, and sit-down videos are just easier for me to film, and this is going to involve learning things. So I have plans for that, but it fell by the wayside this year. But otherwise, I met all my other goals, which was having a read-along, running a readathon, having a Discord, and starting a Patreon. Those were all big goals that I had, and I've done them all, and they've all been fantastic. So that's basically last year. I'm pretty happy with it. I met the spirit of most of my goals. I adjusted when I needed to. I'm good with it. I think the goals helped me focus and prioritize where I wanted to be. Now, for this coming year, we should probably start with the reading goals. I've decided that, it's been 4 years since I've read less than 60 books, I think. So I'm just going to make my reading goal challenge 100 books. I won't be upset if it's less than that, considering the life changes that'll happen this year, but I do think that I am about a 2 books a week person, depending on the length of book, and especially with audiobooks being a part of my life now. Like, if I was doing just physical books, this might be more closer, but with audiobooks, I can for sure get to this. And similarly, I want to physically read about 100 pages a day. So that doesn't include audiobook time unless I'm immersion reading, then it counts, just because that's me setting intention that I want to be sitting down for 2 hours a day to read. That's something I want to make sure I'm always carving space for. Sometimes there'll be a day where I can only read for 30 minutes or an hour, and other days maybe I'll read for 3 or 4 hours, right? Like, you don't know. But on average, I'd like to be reading for 2 hours a day, and that for me is about 100 pages, give or take the book. Sort of thing. I want to again allow myself the freedom of 12 rereads. I'm sure that won't be an issue. I already have 2 rereads planned, the Mistborn Era 2 and Middle Game, and I'm sure I'll reread others. Like, I've been dying to read Elantris in a long time. Yeah, I need it, so that could be on the horizon for me. So I'm sure it'll happen, but I just wanted to make it there so that it's an easy check mark by the end of the year. I again want to read 12 arcs. I think that's good for me. I want to read and help promote 12 books a year. It can be a little more, it can be a little less, but that's about where I want to be. And this next one's new, and I still need to figure out the exact definition for myself, but I live in the United States, and primarily the books that are published are in the United States and centered around American authors. We also have a heavy amount of authors from the United Kingdom. And I do, by accident, sometimes read works by people who do not live in the United States or the United Kingdom, but I'm never intentional about it. And if I'm being honest, most of what I read is the stuff being published and marketed towards me, which is stuff written by people here. So I would like to read 10 works that are written by people that live outside of the United States or the United Kingdom. Now, it could be that maybe they live here now, but they spent, the majority of their life in another country. I don't know yet. For sure, if they still live there and it's translated, it counts. There are muddy lines, I feel, but I'm hoping to try and make it as pure as possible, and that's why it's a low number of 10, of this person does not live in the United States or United Kingdom. They're not part of a diaspora sort of thing. That's what I'm trying to do intentionally with that one, because I do feel like I don't think about it, and whenever I do read stories outside of the country, it's been pretty phenomenal. So that's a newish one, and we'll see how it works. If anyone's done a goal like this before, let me know your parameters, because I'm still working on mine, obviously, but the intention is to read things off my beaten path. And then another new one that I want to do is I was checking. I have, I think, about 20 books on my physical TBR. I'll probably do an update about that in a couple weeks, but when I was looking on my story graph, it's about 20. And I don't need to read down my TBR. That's not a concern. But I think I wrote down that I'd like to read 12 TBR books. And I think that's totally manageable to just read half of it, and then, I might obtain 12 to 30 books this year. Who knows? But I'd like to read down 12 books, a book a month off my TBR, and that's just books I own now. So if I acquire new books, those don't count. These are the backlist TBR. Because I think that's the thing that bothers me, is not having a large TBR, but having books that have been on my shelf for 5 or 10 years that I haven't read, aren't bringing myself to read, so that is a new reading goal. So those are all the book stuff. Editing Angela here. I had post-it notes over 2 of my reading goals, so there are 2 quick ones. One is, like I mentioned previously, I am reducing my short story collection goal down to 6, so I can have 2 months to read per collection. I think that's way more manageable now with my new hobbies and everything. And then a new one I am adding, or I want to read 6 middle grade and graphic novels. I just really don't pay attention to these categories of reading, and I have a bunch of new graphic novels on my TBR and a whole list of middle grade that a bunch of friends have recommended to me that I would like to prioritize this year. So now back to the rest of the video. And now for channel stuff. Some stuff is pretty similar to last year. I already kind of talked about the science behind the magic. I do want to have 2 or 3 science behind the magics that are similar to what I was kind of discussing, this like new idea that I have about how to visually display them. I don't think the content's going to be different. Like, I still want it to be a very accessible, here's an idea and how it connects to a thing in a book, and explaining it, very much like a kid to someone who's never done science since high school can, enjoy. But it's the visual stuff that I really need to play around with. I also now have money on the channel, so I can maybe look into like paying someone to help me with the graphics so it can be at like the standard I want it to be. It's, a mess. Like, I am good at talking, I'm good at reading, I'm good at editing, I'm not good at art. So those are kind of the things that I need help with, and figuring out what you're allowed to do with copyright, and it's a mess. It's all new, but I'd like to explore that. I want to creatively go that route, so I've already talked about that a little bit. I am going to do my readathon in March again this year. I think I'm going to try and do something slightly differently based off, things that worked and didn't work last year, but I'm still planning on doing a bracket-themed readathon in March because of March Madness and things like that. And I'm planning on doing at least one casual read-along for the Mistborn Era 2. I do not know what that's going to entail. I'm starting to put out feelers for people who might want to do live shows with me. It's also going to be during a part of my life that's going to be chaotic, but I want to reread Mistborn Era 2, and I love that series. It's not my favorite, but I think it gets a lot of hate, and I want to have a nice place where we can all just be like, this series is fun, unless you don't like it, which, obviously, you can be there too. I'm just saying, this is going to be more of a positive live show experience, I hope. That's the hope. I don't know. But I want to do a read-along for that. I don't know if other read-alongs will happen, but that's the only one that I kind of currently have planned. There will for sure be channels for it in my Discord. And then, I've kind of mentioned this in the last one, I want to start doing channel lives more. I think I've only done 2 lives on my channel. One for when I did a panel for authors last summer, which was great. If I get an opportunity to do something like that again, I totally will. That was super fun. But I've done like one live stream for like reaching 3K, and Ryan was there. And I've always wanted to do reading sprints, and I've always wanted to have like live discussions and things like that, but it's a new thing, right? It's a new thing. I have to make thumbnails for it. Do people show up, stuff like that. So I'm going to play around with that. I don't know the exact form it'll take. I for sure want to do reading sprints. I think they're so fun. Like, I have been on other people's reading sprints, and I've been on other people's live shows. Like, I have no issue being live. I just haven't done that for my channel. So that's something I'd like to explore. If there's any type of live you'd be interested in seeing, let me know. I can't do anything as awesome as Alan's Jeopardy. It's not in the cards. But in terms of like reading sprints, do you like them? Do you not like them? And then also live shows, like, I don't think I want to have a book club. I'm already going to be participating in a book club for most of the year. I already have a different book. Like, I'm book clubbed out. So I don't want to like have my own channel book club. But if like there are certain books you want me to have discussions with other people, or just certain discussion videos, I don't know. Let me know what you think. These are things that I'm looking to play around with in the new year. And the next 2 are really exciting to me, and I haven't figured them out yet, but they have my creative energies all excited. And one is a new series for my channel. So I am someone who reads new releases all the time. I think last year 40 or 50 of the things I read were new releases, like 2021 releases. I will know the exact stat when I do my stats video, but it's a lot. Like, I think when I was looking at the Goodreads Choice Awards, I had read high 30s of new releases. So I read a lot of new releases. And I don't make too many anticipated releases videos because like I've said with my arcs, I try not to bite off more than I can chew there. So I do make 2 anticipated releases videos a year of books that are on my radar, that I have arcs for, that I am going to try and read and review in a timely manner. It's not like a hard promise. No one's paying me to talk about books, so, life happens, but those are the anticipated releases, TBRs. But that said, so many cool books are released every year, and I kind of want to maybe do a monthly or bi-monthly series where I list a bunch of books that I probably wouldn't have read them all, but they thought they were interesting, and not doing it at the beginning of the month, but like for January, do something at the end of the month where I have like 10 releases that I have heard about that I was interested in, and I go through Goodreads and YouTube and BookTok, and I find people's reviews and opinions and kind of compile these are the general pros I'm seeing, these are the general cons, this seems to be like the gist or genre or tropes and buzzwords for this work. Like, not so much this looks cool, here's the description and the cover. Like, I don't like watching those anticipated releases, so I'm trying to think of a way that I would like to watch it and things that could be useful, of being like, so far, for this book, that only being out for so long, in the community, this is the buzz. This is the good, the bad, the ugly for this book. And some of them I'll have read, but like, if I put a video out for 10 books for January, I might have read one of them, right? So it won't be like actual review videos. It would just be more like on your radar sort of things. So let me know if that interests you, or if there are anything you would want tweaked or to for sure be in those, because it kind of has me excited. I've already started making the list of January books, because also it helps me know when people are putting out videos of wrap-ups and reviews and stuff, saying like, oh, I remember hearing about that book. Was it actually good? And stuff like that. So that's one I'm excited about. That's just like been in my mind, roaming around, becoming a full-fledged idea. And then I want to try author interviews. I don't know if this would be live or pre-recorded and edited, but there are several authors that I really enjoy and I want to have their thoughts on. And I don't know if I'll do this like in a panel way or if I would do it 1v1, but this all started with Karen Lord has a new book coming out in January. And I'm just like, I'm almost done reading her backlist, and then I want to read this new book, and then I could interview her knowing all of her books, and like that would feel so good, and I would be so excited. And I haven't reached out to her or anything yet, but like, she's an author I'd really love to talk to. Zoraida Cordova I'd love to talk to. Yoon-Ha Lee. Like, I have just so many authors that I would love to talk to, and I think like, you guys hear me gush about their works all the time, and maybe an interview would be interesting and help, people get a sense of what themes and ideas and what art went into creating these things. So it's not a full-fledged thought, but it's something I'm excited about and feeling confident enough to maybe craft an email. And I hate emails. Oh, some people hate phone calls. They get anxious about phone calls. Phone call every day. Emails. I hate emails. This is why I video instead of blog too. Like, writing complete sentences? No. I don't even talk in complete sentences. I caption my videos. I know. I'm a mess. So those are the channel and reading goals for 2022. And then some life things that are going to happen that may or may not make any of this work out. So yeah, I've already mentioned this a lot. I'm defending March 2nd. The thesis is close to done. I say that. I was supposed to work on it today. That didn't happen. But I need to finish writing it, and then I need to edit it, and then I need to defend it, and all of that. So March 3rd, that part of my life is done. Well, I'll have to edit a lot, but like the majority of it will be done. But that also means I need to find a new job. So that's like a thing. So I got to find a new job that I hopefully like. And Ryan and I are moving. Like, regardless of what city we live in next, it's not in this apartment. This apartment has served us well, but we're going to be moving. So that could be to another apartment in Boston or Brookline. It could be we move across state lines. I don't know. There's a lot of ambiguity in the air. We are moving. That's a thing that's happening. But then also something I haven't, I guess, verbally said on the channel, but I haven't been hiding it either. Like, if you were on my Instagram or Discord, this is not news, but Ryan and I are engaged. This is my ring. It's a teal sapphire. I proposed to him in August because I really wanted to propose to him. I don't know if you need a better reason than that. I mean, we've been together for almost 4 years. I'm pretty sure he's the person I want to spend my life with. And so we need to plan a wedding. It's not going to be in 2022. We're thinking summer of 2023. But regardless, we need to start doing that. So I want to start planning the wedding. I want to find a job, and I need to move. Those are like the big ones that are nebulous and are for sure going to affect my plans. Like, currently, I'm planning on still doing my 3 uploads a week, 4 if I have a review video. If life gets insane, it might go down to 2. It might, but that's not like a goal. That's just something I'll do if I have to. But I like doing 3 videos a week, so currently not changing that. I've thought about it on and off when I've been stressed about other things, but I like 3 videos a week. So yeah, those those are the things. Those are all the plans. I mean, I guess other life goals, I'd like to do yoga more again because in the winter I get, like most people, pretty depressed and yoga helps me. But that would involve vacuuming and taking out my yoga mat and being productive. So we'll see. Like, I'm recording this the 27th of December. So in theory, I would like to do that today. Like, I'm not someone who waits till January 1st to start things if I want to start them, but we'll see. I just got Slay the Spire, which is a very addictive deck builder dungeon crawl game. So probably not. But let me know what your goals are. And again, any suggestions for the things that I'm excited about producing and creating for the channel, let me know. Like, I really want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what would make content more engaging and fun for you with those video ideas. I'm really excited for the new year. I have a lot of things that have given me a lot of life and energy. And yeah, I just love reading books and chatting with you guys. It's been a great 2021 in that regard. And hopefully, in that sense, that'll continue into 2022. I don't have any emojis. Balloons. I love balloons. I don't know why. I'm a child. I just love balloons. And it's the new year, right? So a New Year's emoji or balloons. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.